What's up, everybody? And I'm back this time with a little book review and my thoughts on this book. First of all, I just finished it recently, and it's a great book. As you can see, it's right here. So I was at the gym today, and I was talking to a man about life in general and business, and he was talking about how back in 70s, his wife charged a bunch of his credit cards and $100,000. And so when he was talking about the story, and he goes, "If my wife didn't do this, then I would have been a millionaire." And I sat and thought for a minute. I'm like, so you're telling me from the 70s till today, you never had another chance of being a millionaire? And it all boils down to this: is the first habit of this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is being proactive. He had, what, 40 years to make himself a millionaire. Now a lot of people, they don't make themselves millionaires. They don't make that money, but he could have recouped that money. He could have been proactive in taking care of that money. But it turned into like this habit of like blaming other people for your shortcomings and blaming other things for your shortcomings, instead of saying, okay, we messed up, right? You told your wife, we messed up together. We're gonna get out of this together, and we're gonna still get that goal of being a millionaire. And that could have been for him. So I sat here and I thought about this book, and I was like, wow, that's right off the bat, being proactive. And that's the first chapter of the book. The first habit of the book is being proactive. And when we think about being proactive, let's look at this. So we all have those people that complain about politics. They complain about the president in office. They complain about that, and they just sit there and they complain, and they allow that to take over their lives. And we know it. We know that it takes over our lives. And I'm guilty of these things too. Sometimes I get sucked into politics when I don't want to. Sometimes I get sucked into politics on my Facebook page. I don't want to. So reading this thing about being proactive, let's think about, hey, instead of sitting on my butt and watching whatever news channel that I prefer and wasting my hours and days, and calendars are flipping over. Calendars are like flipping. And all you have become is a guy that can repeat whatever the news cycle says, this 24-hour news cycle. So all you do is regurgitate what they're saying and think that, oh, this is a great idea because the news people that I like, agree with me, and then I can agree with them, and I can regurgitate these things. Well, instead of doing that, why don't we hit the gym for 30 minutes a day? That helps me, and I'm guilty of these things too. Why don't we work on our lives? Why don't we work on something that will move us forward? Why don't we work on our business? Now, let me do this when it comes to pertaining to clients. For the longest time, I had fears of cold calling clients and the fears of no. And now that I think about it, what Michael Jordan says, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So nowadays, through mentors, through other people, and through friends and family, I'm more proactive because I don't want to waste my time making money for those news corporations. Just think, all those ad revenues and all those things going on with those people behind the scenes, they're millionaires for pushing a certain spectrum of politics. So it's like, okay, well, on the left, they're making $1 million, they're making $1 million. Ask yourself, would these people do this for free? Would they do politics for free? Probably not, because they want to live in their mansions and stuff like that. But being proactive, let's look at it at a business point of view. So, say your business and your product is not as good as it used to be, and you sit down and you complain and say, "Hey, people don't know what they want. People, people don't want to buy my product anymore," and you cry about it. That's being reactive. The opposite of proactive. Don't be reactive. Proactive means, well, I'm going to make my product better. Facebook ads, I'm going to go out and learn stuff. I'm going to go get better. I'm going to get mentors. I'm going to get better. So all those hours and time that you've spent getting better helps you out, and instead of watching TV, instead of playing video games, which can be my fault too. And let's not say I am guilty of these things, but reading this book has showed that, wait a minute, I need to be proactive in my life, proactive in being a husband, proactive in being a father, proactive in being a man, and proactive in my business life. Now I could be, I could be sitting on the couch watching TV all day long. That's not going to happen. Do you think clients are going to land in my lap because of that? Nope, that's not going to happen. I could be sitting down eating cake and ice cream all day, and then look at the scale every day and be like, oh snap, I didn't lose any weight. Well, you jammed cake and ice cream in your mouth last night, and I'm guilty of those things. But when we think in the proactive and being proactive, and instead of like when you get a stimulus, like, okay, so let's look at today. So the president does something to you, or not to you. The president says something or does something that irritates you. You go on keyboard warrior your Facebook page, your blog post, your all that stuff. You spend all that time writing this so-called intellectual giant of a politician in yourself. You write those down and you're like, yeah, I'm going to post it. You get a couple likes. You get people that agree and don't agree with you talking, and then you move on. Now, that might have taken an hour of your life. Why don't you read a book? Why don't you learn something new? Why don't you get better at your job? You hate your job? Go get another job. Be proactive in that stuff. Be proactive in every aspect of your life. It talks about 30 days of being proactive and to make that a habit in your life. And Stephen Covey he writes a great book. This book is so good that I had to get it on Audible also. This is only the first habit of many habits. And I really enjoy this book. I really enjoy reading. If you look back in my previous history, I never read. Now, am I going to blame my family for not reading, not encouraging reading? No, that's my fault. I am my own human being. I can pick up a book. I have read more books now in the previous because I just got tired of watching TV and being part of this news cycle that continues on and on. It gets exhausting. But reading a book, opening your mind up, and trying something new, and taking care of business, that's the way to go. Being proactive is the way to go. Stop sitting on the couch saying, oh, the president did this. Get up. Go do something about your life. Take care of business. Do what you need to do. Wake up at 5 in the morning. Go to the gym. Do whatever you need to do to be successful in your business, to be a successful husband, to be a successful father, to be a successful whatever. And yeah, I'm going off on a rant because I'm guilty of being reactive. I'm guilty of being reactive numerous times. I'm not sitting up here on my soapbox saying, oh, you guys are being reactive, not me. No, I'm very guilty of being reactive. And it takes a lot of work to not be reactive to the things in this world. Something happens and you respond to it. But in between your response, you have the right to sit down and think about how you're going to respond. Or the best part about it is even if you're going to respond at all. And that goes on when you read to the other habits, and I'll get to the other habits later. But I wanted to write this video. I won't write this video. I wanted to shoot this video because listening to people complain about what's going on in their life, and it's just a complaint. There's no proactiveness. There's no like, well, I have no money in my bank. It's all the government's fault. I have no money in my bank. It's my family's fault. Oh, well, what are you doing right now? Nothing. So, like I said, when it comes to clients and getting clients, you have two choices. You can either, sit around the house and say, oh, please let these clients come to me, or you be proactive. You go and say, hey, I'm going to cold call 20 people a day. I'm going to do this. Now, like I said, I'm guilty of these things, and only because mentors have taught me to be better. Also, it tells it the beginning of the book talks about inside out, and what I mean by inside out is like when you see a problem in somebody, it's usually a problem within yourself, and you're projecting it on that person. My buddy, a mentor, Jonathan Foltz. I was there with him and talked to him, and I was like, man, I don't really like that guy. And he goes, why? Well, this, and this. And he goes, well, where's that problem stem from? Is he making the problem, or are you creating that problem? And I looked him right in the eyes. I said, yep, you got me. I created that problem. I created that whole deal of like thinking that man was not for me, or I couldn't be part of or he couldn't help me because he acts this way. Turns out he helped me out a lot. And I just had to get over myself and work from inside out, not from outside in. So don't stop pointing the fingers at other people and trying to correct these people and trying to make these people do what your bidding and what you will. Control yourself. Be proactive. Like I said, if you got a job, be as proactive as possible. If you want to move up in the ranks, you know what to do in business. If you you got an e-commerce store and your product is garbage, find a better product, make it better, make it something somebody wants. With clients, offer the clients what they want. Ask them. Ask people. Don't just sit there and say, oh, this is what you need, this is what I got for you. No, ask these people, because they're people too, and they're trying to profit from what they do too. So thanks for listening to me rant on this book. I will go through the second habit soon, very soon. Keep working hard, keep being proactive, and so that you can enjoy the fruits of your own labor. Stop blaming everybody else. Blame yourself for your own problems and get moving.